Hey guys, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today we have a Technics SL-1900. This one has come in with a multitude of arm issues and it needs a general tune-up. It's never been serviced. I believe the gentleman has owned this since new. So we're going back to the 70s here. These are nice decks. They're a little plasticky, but they're very nicely suspended through the feet. And they sound good, and usually they work very, very well. Some of the major points of pain are gummed up grease, which is pretty typical for these units. Controls that tend to get dirty, and then you get some speed issues. So nothing crazy here. It's going to be a fairly standard repair and service. So I'll just take off the dust cover here and you can get a look at what it's doing. He said that when he does play a record, the arm comes back and then it doesn't go down again. But then he'll leave it overnight and it will, in the morning, be down. But I've had this here for about 3 days and the arm is in the up position and it will no longer go down. The cueing does not appear to be working here. Now, it could be just the auto return that's stuck mid-cycle or something. So let's give this thing a spin up here and see what it's doing. This is a fully automatic direct drive deck. Okay, it's going to the right spot. But like I mentioned, not dropping anymore. I do not want to force anything just because there could be something jammed up in here. And at the end of the cycle, it is returning. Okay, it turns off, which is good. But it's not going down, as you can see here. So, undoubtedly we have something in the arm and or auto return mechanism that's probably stuck. I think I've done one of these in the past, and I think I have a video of one of these. I think it might have had to do with some sticky grease in the arm mechanism. I don't know. I think I've done over a couple hundred videos now, so it's kind of hard to remember what you've done and how many tables you've serviced. But anyway, let's get going on this one. This is going to be a little difficult to work on because I don't want to force this down. But as you can see, it will descend. I don't think it has anything to do with the height of the arm here. I'm just going to put the screw in a little bit here and see if that has anything to do with it. Let's just start it manually here. No, it's still not descending, so anyway, that's okay. Let it go full cycle. We're going to clamp this arm down because I don't want it flailing around when it's upside down. We're going to remove our cartridge. This cartridge is kind of shot, by the way. There's very little or no stylus left, he mentioned. It's an old ADC. You can still get needles for these, but I believe the owner is going to drop off a new cartridge for me in the upcoming days, provided everything services up correctly. All right, let's remove the platter mat. And we'll get our platter off. Classic Technics direct drive unit, magnet right on the platter. Spindle feels okay. It's a little gummy, I'm going to say. Nothing horrible, though. And if I remember correctly, to disassemble a 1900, you have to remove this plate here first. So it's just a matter of lifting this up. Just like that. That comes off. And then you have to remove the 3 knobs here. 1, 2, and 3. So they'll just come off just like that. And throw it across the bench, and then it'll fall behind the bench, and you'll never find it again. Okay, and then let me remember here. I want to do this from memory. We need to flip this over. So we need our dust cover back. Yeah. Okay, there are a lot of screws here. So just let me work on this and I will be right back. Okay, so I have removed the 8 outer screws on the case. Don't remove the inner ones. I'm going to flip it back over. What is going around? Oh, this is the cover for the auto return adjustments. Okay. Now, you need to swing the arm in. See, now this is how that Pioneer PL5 should have been designed, with a hole here so you can go around the tone arm like this. All right, so queuing up, and then you just got to fandangle this out of the way. And then this is just a plastic cover. It's got some grease here, but I know from experience that this grease is fine. But if you want to re-grease this, by all means, go ahead. You can remove this panel altogether, clean and re-grease that. Okay, so now we have the guts here. Excuse me. So something's stuck. So now we can look and see if we can find out what's going on with this tone arm. I might be on repeat mode here. Yeah, it is on repeat. But it's still not descending. So, we're going to remove the tone arm. And to do that, we have 1, 2, I believe 3, no, screw through here. So we got to get that one out, not this one. And the ground connection as well, I believe. No, we don't have to remove the ground. So just these 3, and the RCA cables should come with this, I believe, unless there's a plug. I don't remember. Alright, so 3 Phillips head screws, and this should come off. Oh, I lied. Is there another one? 1, 2. Not this one as well. No, it's not that one. Sorry, I just bumped you. My big fat head. What is going on here? Oh, grease everywhere. Grease, grease, grease. One more. I'm seeing things here. Okay, I am going to, before I start yanking on something, I'm just going to check with the service manual. Be right back. Hey, so I went and watched my own video on this one. And I can confirm that on the last 1900 I worked on, it was just the 3 screws and this came up. On this deck, there are some more screws to remove here. This is holding down the tone arm. So this screw here, or is it? No, not this one, sorry. That one's okay. That's holding the board. It's this one, sorry. This one here. by the RCA cables, you got to remove this one. So it goes all the way through the bottom of the deck into the bottom, look at that big sucker, the bottom of the tone arm. And I don't know if there's any more. Yeah, there has to be another one. So that's loose now, near the front maybe. So there's another one over here, this one here. And yeah, this one here does not go through. This one does. So we're just going to remove that one. And our arm should come loose. Yeah, there it goes. So that's very odd. And the service manual I have, another big long one, doesn't even mention that. So maybe this is a different production run where they were actually securing the arm from below as well. So you'll have one of the two, one without just the 3 screws, like my service manual I have right here just says the 3 screws, and off this comes just like that. But as you can see on this one, there's 1, 2 holes here for screws that go all the way down through the chassis. Okay, so just to give you an idea here, all this stuff is working just fine. There's nothing gummed up here. It's all good. The problem has to be in the arm, so we're going to work on that arm. Oh, we've got to leave our RCA cables though. And what on earth? Wires, wires, wires. Okay. I did disconnect that ground, by the way. You're going to have to do that. So we can take the AC cable now, and we should be okay, right? If we do that, we'll be okay. So just set the table aside, and we'll figure out why this isn't going down. I already know why it is. It's gummed up grease, and that's right there. Ugh, that's bad. We're going to replace the piston oil as well on this. Get that all done while we're in here. So this is kind of a repeat video from my older one, but the older one was shot with a very old camera and it looks and sounds like hell. So let's do a new one here. So this is a messy job, just so you know. The grease is extremely sticky. The silicone oil is extremely sticky. As you can see here, the anti-skate no longer, oh, it's I lied, it kind of works. So we are going to, hang on one sec, I'll be right back. I want to get a towel. So I just put down a dirty shop rag here. You need to be very careful when you're working on a tone arm like this. There's a lot of small parts here. There are very delicate tone arm wires that you don't want to disturb. We are going to start off with some WD-40 because it is an excellent degreaser. And I'm just going to work that all in. And let it do its thing here. And while that's going on, I'm just going to check these springs. That's okay. And you can see the WD-40 already has loosened up the anti-skating. And this is completely jammed. And there you go. That's why it's stuck and not going down. And we're just going to rock that back and forth a little bit. And it will loosen up. As you can see, that's just, can you see the piston moving up and down? That's why it was stuck in the up position. All this needs to be disassembled and relubed. The spring can't even pull this back. It's so tight. All right, so we're just going to let the WD-40 do its job. I am going to go and have a coffee, and I will return in a half an hour, and for you it will be instantaneous. All right, I'm back. Let's start some disassembly here. So the WD-40 has done a pretty good job. It's still sticky, but you can see the spring is actually starting to pull that back. Well, almost. Not quite. The anti-skating, though, was completely loosened up, which is great. And we're going to remove both of these pieces here. Now we got a couple springs we got to deal with. You just want to pull these off. And it depends on which is the best way to get them off. Okay, there's that one. And then you're going to want to loosen this screw, if you can get it off. And it's caked with grease. Everything needs to be cleaned here. The bottom of the screws, this entire plastic piece. So all this needs to be cleaned. The post where it rides needs to be cleaned. And we're going to do that with a little bit of alcohol. This, there's no more grease, silicone oil left in this. It's completely gone, so we're going to do that as well. We'll do the anti-skate next, that way we don't get all confused. So I think I will first, man, that's sticky. I'm going to first give this a shot at WD-40. I really love the way WD-40, can you see that okay? That over a little bit. I love the way WD-40 just eats the grease. And you can brush it on, you can use a Q-tip. It just annihilates old grease, which is great. I mean, alcohol does a good job as well, but this stuff's better. And what I always tell people is don't use it as a lubricant, okay? It's not meant to be used as a lubricant. Ooh, we gotta remember that. We got a little gasket there. So you just let that soak. Remember, the gasket goes on the stepped side, on the, say the top side here. Just clean that gasket off just like that, where I can see it. And I'll just clean this off. Yeah, that's great. And then we're going to clean this area here. I'm going to do alcohol on that because there's already WD-40 on it. I'm just going to get that off. It's very important that this be clean because this is how it moves. And ooh, look at that disgusting green crap that's coming out of there. And that's not the first time I've seen that green stuff. I don't know if it's mold, if it's grease. I don't know what it is. But you do not want that there. Look at this. That's just the post. And then you can put this back just to check to see if it actually is spinning. I'm going to put that upside down. And see how it's that's a lot better. That's good to see. And this is the piece that's pushed down to lift the piston. So if this is stuck, the piston cannot come back down. And we are going to clean this area as well. Any greases or oils here. This. factory kind of spreads it willy-nilly all over the place. So just do your best to remove it all. And you want to get rid of as much of the WD-40 as possible as well. Check this out. This is that's what's on that post. So that needs to be cleaned out. I'm just using a pick to get it out. And then some more alcohol to finish up. It's like it doesn't end. Hello. And you guys still have a home phone? I don't know why the hell we have it. We don't answer it, which is kind of hilarious. I got rid of Rogers for my home phone supplier. I mean, first we had Bell a long time ago, and we still had what was it, POTS system over copper wire. And we got Rogers, and theirs runs off your coax cable into like a modem type of thing. And I told them to take a hike. Now I'm running something called Fongo, which is a VoIP system, and it's $5 a month, right? So I'm thinking, you know, for $5 a month, why the hell not? But on the other hand, we never answer the damn thing. The only person that calls on there is my wife's friend, and that's usually on the weekends, and that's the call that's coming right now. But other than that, it's like, you know, either it's a political party, it's a Value Village looking to pick up stuff, the diabetes, or it's, you know, complete bullshit callers. So really, you know, we always use our cell phones these days. So why the hell do we still have a landline? But I'm going to keep it for $5 a month. I don't care. I'm not trying to give these guys a free shout out, but they're pretty good. They're in Ontario though. Okay, so this is our screw. It has to be cleaned as well. Otherwise it's not going to work. We're going to clean our gasket there. Get off the WD-40. I know you can't see that. White on white on white on white. And we'll just leave these things over here for now. Actually, I'm going to put that on black so I can see it. And I'll put all of them over here. And let's do the piston while we have everything disconnected here. Okay, so there is an E-clip here. Screwdriver, where are you? There. So E-clip, remove that. Careful, that spring could go flying. So we'll just put that there. One washer. one spring. And just remember that the spring goes this way. I probably can't go in the other way, I'm thinking, right? No, it can't. So it only goes in one way. And now we turn this over, and we need to remove this screw. Seen that all right? I'm not tremendously pleased with my camera, I'll be honest with you. I do watch my videos after I'm done editing them, and I do notice that a focus tends to go out sometimes. I'm not sure exactly why that is. I've got it set up correctly. I'm just going to put these over here. So if it's doing that, it's on an automatic tracking focus is what I have it set up for. I don't know if that's good or bad, to be honest with you. Oh, our spring came off here. It's not a big deal. Remember where it goes. We'll just put that over there as well. And now we're going to pull out our piston. And it has to come out the top, looks like, does it? What the hell's going on here? Oh, please don't tell me I have to remove that. Are you attached to that? You bastard. Okay, this is going to be uglier than I thought. Oh dear. Okay. I think we have to remove this plate. That's a job and a half. Let's try to figure out if there's a way to do this without pulling that out, but I don't think there is. This is going to have to come out. What about the tone arm, though? Yuck. Okay, I'm just going to strategize this a little bit. I'll be right back. Okay, it doesn't seem to be any way to do this other than taking it all apart. So we are really in for it here. So I am keeping parts together. The video is a great place to monitor if you forget something. That was my stomach. I am going to remove our anti-skate. It has to be removed anyway to clean it. So our knob comes out like that. And just put that screw with it. This washer goes upside down like this. Here's the anti-skate plate. And it's attached with a spring. So this is not a friendly arm to do if you have to replace the queuing fluid. This is definitely a pretty advanced job. And maybe we can leave that with it. All right. My guess is that we're probably going to want to remove the arm from here. There are two screws that go through, and there's also, what was that? Okay, that's just that piece. There are two screws back here that mount the upper bearing. And I believe we need to remove these two first. And don't touch that one. Let's lock the arm because it's going to be a pain in the butt. most Technics arms, you don't need to use all this disassembly to get at the piston. It usually just comes out, but there's a plastic piece attached to it on the underside of this plate, so there's no way to get it out. So we're going to have to disassemble the whole bloody thing. But we're all learning, right? Isn't that what it's all about? So this is a danger Will Robinson moment here. I guess we can just kind of leave that off to the side. I don't want to disconnect the tone arm wires if I don't have to. So we have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 big screws. I don't know why there's grease on these ones. It's gummed up something fierce as well. There's no reason for there to be grease there. How's the view? Those are big screws. All right, this plate should come up now. We're being very careful not to destroy anything here. Okay, there it is. I just need to be able to get it up high enough that I can get that white piece out. So just tilt that over a little bit like that. Careful the wires. There we go. Oh my God, that was nasty. All right, you don't move. And here it is. Wow. Holy crap. Okay, we're going to just get this in and put this back right away. Here is our piston. Okay. Get your silicone oil. People ask, where do I get it? I buy it here. You just put it right in the slots here. There's 3 slots. That might be one of the most difficult ones I've done. I've done lots of these. That was difficult. So I spent about a half an hour reassembling this plate and getting the tone arm back in position. This little metal plate here is the manual cueing, and it needs to go underneath, or sorry, on top of this white piece. So you have to get this white piece underneath, get that on top, then get this plate down. And yeah, easier said than done. It was quite a bit of work. Okay, so I think we can put this stuff back on now. And we'll push our piston down as far as it goes. And we'll get our washer. I just realized that I'm filming this video in 720p at 30 frames per second. When I send videos out to clients, just giving them a brief update on repairs, I usually do it at that rate. And I forgot to set the camera back because I'm shooting at 1080p 60 now. So unfortunately, this video is going to go out at 720. Okay, it clips back on, so that should be working good now. Nice and slow. And then you want to just turn that back over. And you want to get your lifter. And you just lift up the arm a little bit here and just fandangle that in. Like that. And then just get your screw started. You don't screw it in all the way. You just want to screw it down because we're going to adjust that once we get everything back together. So just get it in there. I don't know, there-ish. As you can see, our cueing is now working. So I'm just going to stay there for now, and we'll get back to completing this. Okay. Now, anti-skating. Now this is our spring for our lifter. I'll just hook that there for now. Anti-skating screw, anti-skating washer, anti-skating plate. That goes like that, and this part goes over there. I've cleaned this off already with WD-40. I'm going to clean this area here. I'm finding that alcohol is just not doing it today. The grease is too thick and too sticky. So today we're using WD-40 to clean everything. And then what I'm doing is I'm following up with a little bit of alcohol to remove the WD-40. So you got to clean off this area here because this is where, look at this, horrible. Wow, look at that. It's just terrible. You just got to clean it all off. You know, it's almost to the point where you need to scrape it off. There. And then follow up a little bit of alcohol. Because we're going to re-grease all this. All right. Definitely got to clean this spring. Sorry if I'm off camera here. I'm just cleaning it. This is terrible stuff, eh? The 1900 is probably one of the worst tables for sticky grease. Okay, so that goes back there. And this comes through the bottom. Like that. And then our spring. And then that plate. Okay. All right, so now we'll get a little bit of grease. This is like a general purpose synthetic. You don't need a lot. Just coat the ring here. Get your spring in place. And then we're just going to put a little bit on the back side of the plate. Like that. Get this into position. Actually, we'll put a little bit on that pivot as well. Did we clean that pivot? I don't remember. Was there any grease on it? Yeah, a little bit. All right, put a little bit on this pivot here. Okay. And then we can get our screw back down. If we can find a hole here. All right, right about there. Hey, get back on there. That doesn't look right at all. What the hell did I do? Okay, I'm not crazy. That is the correct screw. Just did not have this washer set up correctly. It's a spring washer. It's like kind of like U-shaped. You got to make sure that this part is within the U. That way it turns properly. Okay. And this screw needs to be tightened as much as possible. It goes all the way down. So that is working beautifully, and the grease is all spread around now. Okay, finally, what we're going to do now, we're going to put this back in place. Remember, we have our slip washer here. That goes on there. But before we do that, we're going to grease up these areas. So here. And grease up the post. Just like that. And then we're going to hook our spring here. Get our washer down. And we can hook the spring here as well while we're at it. And get this down. Where the hell did the spring go? Oh, shit. Okay, spring's in. Looks to be moving. Okay. We can put our screw back on. I am going to put a little bit of grease where this screw goes as well. How long synthetic grease lasts, I don't know. I mean, it seems like the grease from the factory looks like 50 years was its time limit when it really turned into glue. Okay, I think the arm's done. It's definitely lifting. This is part of the auto return. You can see it's moving nicely now. No more stickiness. Let's get this tone arm back into the chassis and continue on with our service. I have a feeling this video is going to be very long, but I think it's important because it is a bit of a different tone arm than the last 1900 I did. Just to give you an idea, I've been watching that video as I go because there's a lot of things that I don't remember. And this white piece here, which is part of the auto return mechanism, it was actually two separate pieces on the other 1900 I worked, and it was black. So yeah, this model's either been updated, this might be an earlier edition or a later edition, I'm not sure. So anyway, I'll pause, I'll get this arm back in the turntable and we'll carry on. Okay, tone arm's mounted again, 3 screws plus the 2 from the bottom on this model. Your model may not have those 2 bottom screws like I mentioned. All right, just give you an idea. Now this thing is going to auto repeat because it's missing, or maybe that's the auto repeat off there. Anyway, so you'll see the arm is lifting up nicely. It's coming over and it's dropping nice and slow. When we come back, arm lifts, returns beautifully. See, it is repeating because something is. What if I do that? I want to see what causes it to repeat. Maybe this. Ah, yes, it's this. This little sucker here is your repeat. Okay. So as you can see, the arm is functioning beautifully again. So that is all done. So let's just continue our service here. We're going to service these 2 potentiometers for speed. I'm going to use Deoxit F5. It's a fader lube. Put that in there. A couple shots. And then just work them back and forth if you want to make that easier. Get your knobs. And those will help. So just back and forth, distribute the cleaner. There's also a couple of potentiometers here for rough speed adjustment or fine speed adjustment. You shouldn't have to touch those whatsoever since we have 2 separate pitch controls on this table. But technically speaking, you want these roughly in the middle when you've achieved your speed lock. So that's what you can adjust these for, but we're just going to leave these alone. Speed switch. Speed switch is just your standard switch, so we're going to hit that with some D5. It's very important that you clean that speed switch though. The SL-23 is a bit of a nightmare when it comes to the speed switch. So just clean that nicely. Okay, we'll just set that to off position, and we'll remove all 3 of these again, set them aside, and we'll take care of our motor. Techniques are very simple to deal with here. Get some lubricating oil, non-detergent machine oil like Singer oil or something like that, and just put a couple drops on the main bearing, and that will soak its way in and lubricate the bearing nicely. All right, now the big question: what about all these 50-year-old capacitors? Well, I have gone around, I've done some measurements, and they're measuring fine. I've also contacted the client, told him that, and asked him if he wanted them replaced, because I already told him that that arm job is going to be rather expensive because I spent a lot of time on that. So he is going to forego the caps here. There's a couple low leakage, low noise caps here. The rest, they're all Panasonic caps, obviously. It's a Panasonic product. But we're going to leave them in place. If we notice some kind of speed issues when we test the table, then maybe it's something we're going to have to address. But at this point, the customer has said not to replace them, so we're going to do that. But like I mentioned, I did do some tests on these, and they are measuring okay. So let me get the case back on, and I'll be back here in a minute. All right, we got our plinth back on. We got we oiled this. I quickly set up this arm. Like I mentioned, this cartridge is being replaced once the service was done, so I'm going to let him know that he can now bring over a brand new cartridge. So we're just going to give it a quick test here, and this one should go a lot better than the last duel we did. Yeah, phono. Just make sure we got sound here. Yeah, we got sound. Okay, 30-inch. I've set up the arm for 1.5 grams. The anti-skating moves beautifully now, by the way. And we're just going to, before I do that, I just want to adjust speed. So pretty close right there. This arm is way too high, so we do have to adjust that. And you know what else we need to do? We need to, there's a little bit of grease on that arm lifter. You can see the arm being pulled back by the anti-skate. Let me just clean off that. It's probably from my very greasy fingers while we were working. So I'm just going to clean that off with a little alcohol on the bottom of the arm here. Just get rid of the greases. Okay, now we're going to adjust the height of the arm. Just going to turn the record off. You just need a screwdriver, a flathead in this case. And what you want to do is, see, that's way too high, so we're just going to move that back over. And then we're just going to push down on the arm lifter, and we'll screw this in, let's say a couple turns, and then we'll see where we are. And that's a lot better. Could probably go just a smidge more. Now we got a new cartridge coming, so the height of that cartridge could be different. I'll just go another turn. Let's see where that is. Okay, I'm liking that. All right, let's set this to 33. Turn up our volume. And no repeat, 30-inch. Let's see how it works. Oh, get our queuing down. And that looks right on the money. Very nice. Good.
My name is Calypso.
Look at that, eh? And it drops down and shuts off. So this Technics is perfectly repaired. Speed's good, so caps were all okay. That was quite a job on the arm. If I were to rate that for replacing the cueing fluid, the silicone damping fluid, as far as difficulty level, I would put that as a 9.5. That was very difficult. There's a lot of disassembly, and you have to be very careful about the wires. I mean, anytime you're dealing with the tone arm, you have to be careful with the tone arm wiring. But yeah, that was difficult. Plus, you've got this upper bearing support here that has to be loosened, which loosens the arm. And yeah, a lot of work on that one. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. That was quite the job. Nice turntable, though. Definitely worth putting money into. These things are workhorses. A little more plasticky than your typical Technics. I mean, when they got into the SL-D2, D1, D3, that series, the plastic is a lot more non-resonant, I would say. This is, very plasticky, but it's got some very springy feet, so hopefully it's not going to be too detrimental to the sound quality. So that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for tuning in again. If you could please like, subscribe, that is very important. I need those subscriptions. I usually never ask for that, but if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.